EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Straight ahead, we punch the second of 2 tickets to the AFC title game, and we've got a great one in store between the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans. For a berth in the AFC Championship game, off we go in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs.
Very short kick taken right at the 20.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now it's Jackson.
He gets this underneath to Dobbins.
4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
From the 36, Jackson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
So, Charles, you talk about this head coach and his future with this franchise. Look, it's been a frustrating year, and I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier in the week.
Yeah, he's trying to say all the right things, isn't he? But he's heard the rumors. He knows what's going on out there. And right now, he is tired of having to answer the question, are you on the hot seat in every meeting with reporters? This week, he kind of said, I've had enough, and I don't blame him. He looks like a guy that may very well be out the door.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 35-yard line. Play action. Now Jackson. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Well, this defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Now a man who played high school ball here in LaGrange, Texas, J.K. Dobbins.
And he's going to be close to a 1st down as the tackle is made at the Texans' 27. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
The play fake to Dobbins. Here's Jackson.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. There he goes, right side. The 20. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. And we'll see if that pick 6 looms large as this game continues, because we've seen plays like that alter a lot of playoff contests over the years.
I would agree with that totally. And you often think to yourself, why do they alter it so much? Because after games, don't we hear coaches and players say, well, one play doesn't usually determine the outcome. But I don't think that's really true, do you? Because there's times when we see plays like that, and all of a sudden the momentum jumps to that team side, it deflates the other side, and they never pick it back up. And then things really go from there, don't they?
That's the thing for me. We talk about momentum changes. A play like that is the ultimate momentum change. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
And not much on this one. Takes it from the 21. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. Well, that's complete to the fullback, Ricard. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game, but in this case, they made him pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Watson, he finds his man, complete. It's Phillips. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
On 1st and 10, Watson. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That opening drive rhythm continues right into play number 3.
Whatever they decided that they wanted to run before the game, it's working pretty well for them right now. Moving the ball downfield at a nice rate. And guess what? I think the chain crew might have to get a little oxygen over there. They have to keep moving downfield with 1st downs on each play.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. Always so many storylines when you're playing January football. And, Charles, you talk about this offense, their head coach. It's his first time in charge in the playoffs. And I think you and I were both kind of surprised by his demeanor and specifically his comments and his confidence at the press conference where he really all but guaranteed a victory.
Yeah, I was a little bit taken aback because you don't normally see that. And on one hand, it's like, all right, cool. He feels great about his team. But on the other hand, I don't think it's in his best interest to do that. How many playoff games has he won again, Brandon?
None.
So there's your answer right there. I guess what he was trying to do was fire up his team, but he has to make sure he doesn't fire up the other guys because there have been a lot of coaches who've made guarantees that are no longer coaching in this league.
And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 23.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So second catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So if they can get him going in the passing game, that should open up his running game too. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Watson now to throw. And this is incomplete.
Well, to me, there was no question about the intent there, and I think he was a little fortunate that the penalty flag didn't come out for grounding. But he'll get away with it and get another shot on third down.
8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on third down. Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted.
Picked up by Brandon Stevens. And the Ravens are going to have it here at their own 15.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're forced to play catch-up early in this division round game as they search for a seat. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's second down. Another try after the first down sack. Jackson, he's going deep for Brown. He's got a man, complete. And they do finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 41. It's a big play there for Baltimore. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. And this is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit.
Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. The Ravens on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. To throw is Jackson.
He'll swing this out to Dobbins.
And some room to roam now. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line.
A very important third down conversion right there, because when you're trailing and find yourself this deep in enemy territory, the kicker's not even part of your thought process. You got to make it pay off with 6. Nice connection right there to set up 1st and goal.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson.
He'll check this down to Dobbins out of the backfield.
And he'll get nothing out of that one. So no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. To throw again is Jackson.
He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked up by Justin Reed. He's at the 40. And what a return as he brings us with all the way back tell you what, credit is due there on them preventing the touchdown after that interception.
How about him chasing him down and not giving up the pick six? Because what happens a lot of the time is when you see the interception, you just kind of hang your head a little bit and you momentarily pause because you're frustrated. He shook that off and gave great chase and got it done.
Still a great return and very good field position. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line.
Well, we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down. Out of the gun, Watson. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston.
Nico Collins
there to make the grab. And the Texans will extend their lead. Extra point by Batchley, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is, because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Here's a give to Dobbins running right.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
And we're going to have a break in the action. As you can see, Mark Andrews is yet to get up.
While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend.
And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
44 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
2nd down and 8.
Jackson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
They got to get it to the 21 here on 3rd down. Throwing is Jackson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
But we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. These playoff games have a tendency to be tight. You have to wonder if that missed field goal could haunt him later.
Yeah, we're always looking for the key plays, right? The ones that we're going to magnify. Usually those happen in the second half or later in the game. This might be the key play of the game showing up here in the first half.
Watson on 1st down. And goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
He's checking. Get it going down, he's coming.
Another try after the first down sack. Watson.
That's a good bounce back play right there after taking a sack on first down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a third and short yardage call. Through the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out third and long.
Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Now Watson. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Looking to throw again on second down. Watson.
Throw right side, taken in by Collins. And the Texans are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
Here's Watson.
Boy, how about the speed with which is...
And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans.
Nico Collins
with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half.
And the Texans continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it's now 21-0. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And we'll see how they want to play this. Just a little over 20 seconds to go.
He's going deep for Brown.
Oh, for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted.
Lonnie Johnson picks it.
And the Texans are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. Well, Charles, you're so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few.
Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. So it's on to halftime in this AFC divisional round matchup as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. That's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC divisional round. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going.
And they've been the better of the 2 teams through 2 quarters of play, much to the chagrin of this home crowd.
Yeah, this score is a surprise to a lot of folks at home, although not to my dad. He predicted the visitors would win. And maybe to the folks in the stadium, but you know who is not a surprise to, partner? This team with the football. They were very confident coming in.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Watson.
Another throw for Collins, this one complete.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it.
And this will be caught at the 30. Touchdown, Houston.
Nico Collins
saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it is 28-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Jackson is going to fire one deep over the middle. It got his man complete. And all the way down to the 29. It's a big play there for Baltimore. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that could be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
And he wisely will throw that one away.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson, and he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
The passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Going deep downfield for Ross. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Justin Reed.
And the Texans are going to get the football here at their own 23.
Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
Linebacker Patrick Queen bringing him down.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now it's Watson. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
Well, I certainly don't want to pile on, but this defense has just not been up to the challenge in this game, and this continues as we see here. Coverage, not been very good. Soft in spots. There's an easy throw and catch for another first down.
Now he'll let it go deep right side.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off at the 22. And a great return as he takes us up just shy of the 45.
Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now it's Jackson. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory as they've got it to the 28-yard line. Jackson from the shotgun. And, oh, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's a 2nd down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the...
And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Devin Duvernay there to make the grab. And the Ravens get a bit closer. Tucker with the extra point, and that'll cut the lead back down to 21. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Houston. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game. And the Texans are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
You know, if following up on this head coach and the pressure that he is under, CD, I want to switch it to you because you've been on winning teams, but I know you've been in similar situations too where things just are not going well. How do you approach that as a player?
It's a tough approach, Brandon, because you actually have to do the...
And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 45. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. I'm starting to wonder, Charlie, 5 interceptions. Is that the last that we've seen of him?
Well, I think that a lot of people hope that's the last they've seen of him in this game, probably including himself. If this were baseball, the manager would have been at the mound already and asked for the ball, and he'd be in there getting a shower. But in football, you might have to go stand on the sideline and watch the rest of it and see if your backup can do any better. And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. It's another touchdown pass for Deshaun Watson, his 5th of the afternoon. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. On 2nd and 10, Jackson. He'll dump this off complete to Dobbins. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling. Held it to an okay game. There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
Meanwhile, Jackson's throw there into the hands of Ross. 7 yards, the pickup there.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
It's a big play there for Baltimore. One quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Dobbins.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown.
J.K. Dobbins
taking it in from 2 yards out.
And the Ravens get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the effort snuffed out. The Texans' hands team recovers. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all, and if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down. Here's 2nd and 10.
Gotta do better. Come on, QB, come on. Hey, check Mike, Mike 6, Mike 6. Tackles.
Throwing again is Watson. Throwing right, and that's complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. To throw is Watson. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey.
Brandon, these cornerbacks have their hands full all afternoon long, but they finally get a measure of revenge as he gets himself in a nice spot. He's able to get 2 hands on the football and pick it off.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Their hopes of advancing past this divisional round hanging by a thread, if that, as they begin here with a 1st and 10 on the wrong side of the scoreboard. And boy, another ill-advised throw there as that will wind up incomplete.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Play action. It's Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A big connection on that one. 33 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Hey, check mark 33.
Now Jackson. This is caught. It's Brown. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. A big play that time through the air. 31 yards.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down. Dobbins running out of the gun. So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward. If we lose yardage, this is the play call that I'll have ready.
They'll try to run with Dobbins. And this time he is in.
Yes.
J.K. Dobbins. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Ravens cut into that lead. Tucker with the extra point. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. Oh, the Ravens say they have it. They do have it. Great job by the kick team there to get the football, but also don't forget about the man that started it, the lonesome kicker himself.
I love that you brought him into it because he doesn't get nearly the attention he deserves. Oftentimes it's only when it's negative. In this case, he created a positive play for his team.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
They knew this would be tough on the road divisional round, and that has certainly been the case with the deficit they face in this 4th quarter.
Dancing to his left, and he'll just get rid of it. What we just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
A lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that one. He's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Here's Jackson. Flushed out right. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. Jackson now. Eluding the pressure right. Going deep downfield for Ross. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. Well, to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him. But you have to as a team because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on. But it reminds me of a time that a former defense coordinator of mine told me he was in a game where his quarterback threw 7 interceptions. So after the 6-1, one of the defensive players went to the quarterback and said, here's what you do. Throw the ball to the other team, and let's see if our receivers can pick it off and turn it into a completion.
That's just mean. I don't know that I'd go down there and say that to him right now. Probably pretty fragile. A good run, got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. From the gun, here's Watson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the 32. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
The interception was a good starting point, but still a huge hill to climb with his 3-score deficit and time fading.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Well, I kind of got to give him credit. Another incompletion there, yes, but he's still trying to make plays outside the pocket.
Yeah, he's been hemmed in for much of the game. How about him getting outside there? And that's what you want to see from your quarterback. He's not giving up on this game, so every other player in the field has to say to himself, I can't give up either.
That's for Bateman, and it's intercepted.
Lonnie Johnson picks it. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. Another solid game-changing play for this defense with the interception. At this point, though, I don't know that it's game-changing. I mean, they've got this one in firm control.
And you always hear about, you know, those stories about someone left their game plan behind and maybe you benefit from it. I'm not going to say that that happened, but they certainly have appeared on defense to be a step ahead this entire game. Guys are always in the right spot in order to make a play.
The offense has had its moments, too. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
There's so many definitions of a complete back. I think most people think a guy who can block, a guy who can catch, and a guy who can run. But how about when you put it all together as a runner and you can fake people out, you can be shifty, and also run with some power and break tackles, as we just saw on that pickup.
Toward the sideline, he will have the first down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet inbounds. Well, clear running situation. Try to take time off the clock. He ran the previous play, set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they had shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit him over the top.
He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. They'll keep it on the ground. Patton. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
And they have just not been able to block him at all throughout this game. Seems like every other play, he's doing something in the backfield. Already got 2 sacks, and now here's a tackle behind the line.
No movement from the field goal unit. They've got 4 full yards to go here on 4th and goal to hit pay dirt, but they're going to go for it. Charles, if you're the coach of the losing team, even though you made it to the playoffs and there's part of that that feels good, what do you say to your guys after?
I think you probably tell them how proud you are of them to make the effort to get to this game and then point them towards the future. If we're good enough to get here, all we've got to do is work harder, be better, and we can be good enough to go farther next season. How many times have we seen a team lose in the playoffs, and that girds them for a championship run in the future?
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Texans as we say so long from Houston.